Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan M.S. Pierce. This is a Ukraine war, a news update, war, a bit of an analysis really. I don't know if you call it news per se, just that Kirill Dimitriev, the envoy to, well, he's been the envoy involved in negotiations with the US, but he's mainly concerned with driving up economic benefit for Russia, which is why he's been so pivotal in discussions with the US, because they know the Russians, the Kremlin knows that Trump is particularly enamored with economic outlooks, and he will much rather see trade booming with Russia than peace, a just and lasting peace in a war between Russia and Ukraine. So he's been very, very important, but he also has given us a window into what Russia is doing in the information spaces, and two, their agenda, their strategy with regard to those information spaces and their political machinations concerning particularly the EU. Absolutely fascinating. Honestly, a trip down Kirill Dimitriev's Twitter feed is a window into the Kremlin's machinations. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get on with it. So we have here Kirill Dimitriev flying back to Russia from the United States, says this: as I was flying over London on the way back to Russia from the US, I reflected on the struggle of the British people against uncontrolled immigration, grooming gangs, and the mark of the beast digital ID, all while suffering under the most unpopular PM in UK history, Keir Starmer. Now, I have told you a number of times how my Twitter feed is flooded with absolute anti-Starmer vitriol, and these same people, scare quotes people, that are claiming to be British, a proud patriot mum, loves my family, blah, 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 all this kind of carry on in the bios that are normally, to me at least, obvious indicators that they are not British people, but they are trolls working for the Russian Federation. These people are talking incessantly about how terrible Starmer is, about uncontrolled immigration, about grooming gangs, and about digital ID. Literally, that is the bingo full house of Russian trolls. And here we have Kirill Dimitriev flying over the UK, indicating, I think, that these people really are trolls that are doing this, that they're not real British people. He's giving us an admission, I think, into what the Russian agenda is. So here is a response to Dimitriev's post here, which I think sums it up completely. You basically just confirmed that the BS extreme right-wing talking points parroted by morons in the UK come from Russia. Stay the F out of European politics, you odious whatnot. So this is, a good infographic giving you an idea of how the Russians are manipulating our narrative, or not our narratives, our discussions, and the political talking points, I guess. Stop Russian interference in UK politics. Brexit Party MEPs vote against plans to tackle Russian propaganda. We have crushed the British to the ground. Russian ambassador's words after the Brexit vote. UK politician admits making pro-Russia statements in return for bribes. Richard Tice holidays with Russian oligarch in the Riviera. Farage and Le Pen failed to halt EU prying into Kremlin cash. Nigel Farage insists Kiev will have to seek a peace deal with Russia, as reform leader says Ukraine may have to be partitioned in negotiations with the Kremlin. Major donor to Reform UK sold parts used in weapons to Russian supplier. And brilliant Putin is the leader I most admire, says Nigel Farage. All this kind of stuff going on. You realize the success of the Russians in, what an incredible return on investment they're getting from their expenditure on information warfare. They are having incredible success in derailing political discourse in Europe and interfering with our elections. Then you have this coming from Kirill Dimitriev, the AFD, so the German equivalent of Reform is the British equivalent of AFD, is now the most popular party in Germany, standing up against uncontrolled immigration, lies, and censorship. Awakening, he says. So it's exactly the same approach. You're saying in the course of just like 2 days, one day, I think it was on the same day, you have him, Kirill Dimitriev, putting the needle into the British here with regard to all of these controversial talking points that have become controversial precisely because of the Russian information machine playing its part, and then doing the same with Germany here. Jane Kiev rightly says Putin's most ghoulish emissary celebrates Russia's seizure of the German electorate. Until the EU gets serious about Russian disinformation and immigration, Russia will continue to sway European minds. And then just here we have Kirill Dimitriev today saying, thank you, Elon Musk, for this historic milestone. Truth and sanity finally have a chance. We all know Wikipedia was hijacked by ideology. Let Grokipedia be a platform of facts and wisdom. User feedback, my profile isn't perfect yet, but the factual depth is impressive. So this is Elon Musk now announcing that Grokipedia.com version 0.1 is now live. Version 1.0 will be 10 times better, but even at 0.1, it is better than Wikipedia, in my opinion. Let's just look into this because, my goodness, we have a problem here. So let's look at why Kirill Dimitriev is so into Grokipedia. Yoni Escola here says, we now know why Musk and Sachs, that's David Sachs, kept attacking Wikipedia and pushing for their own alternative. So this is fact-checked by Grok yesterday. This is Grokipedia's page for the Russian invasion of Ukraine, which has been fact-checked by Grok. And we can see footnote 3, and 3. Used here to defend 3 of the claims here. What is a sourcing from en.kremlin.ru? In other words, they are using, Grok is using the Kremlin to present facts about the war in Ukraine. Absolutely incredible. But there you go. It's just, yeah. It's so sad, but this is what's happening. Kirill Dimitriev is saying, thank you, Elon Musk. You are providing this historic milestone of truth and sanity finally have a chance. Singing the praises of Grok over Wikipedia. Meanwhile, he is parroting parroting, or maybe he's a source of the Russian talking points here in public, and it's just so infuriating. So going back to AFD, where he's singing the praises of AFD, saying they're now the most popular party in Germany, standing up against uncontrolled immigration, lies, and censorship. And you're thinking, okay, well, how much is this as a result of Russia invading the information spaces and providing the talking points, etc., etc.? Then you see this. This is Naomi Seipt saying Germany is waking up. Who knows who this person is? Germans are chanting, we've had enough, proudly waving the national flag and AFD flags. Real patriots get it. Only the AFD can save Germany. And then here we have the Russian flag in the background here of the picture about AFD. Say only AFD can save Germany. A parade of cars there with AFD flags and a Russian flag in the middle. So that's where we're at. It is just so infuriating. And just, look at Kirill Dimitriev's Twitter feed and see how he is getting into these places like the United States and spreading that disinformation in places that really matter. Here is Representative Anna Paulina Luna meeting with Kirill Dimitriev, and Kirill Dimitriev reposting what she says. I guess Russia owned Clinton and Bush too, says Luna, in response to criticism that Russia now owns another Republican member of Congress, likely bought at a bargain price. And she says, well, does it not fit your narrative? How about the Democrats who illegally surveilled a president and blamed it on Russia? You're a type of war pimp that people can't stand. I look forward to a peace deal so that people like you can eat your words. Kirill Dimitriev then, replies to Luna, who said, we are not in a Cold War anymore. If you know history, you will know that Kennedy was talking actively with Russia. He wanted peace. It's the only non-radioactive option. Are you alleging that Kennedy was somehow controlled by Russia? That's a bizarre take. Now, massive criticism of what she said there, because it's not about talking with Russia, it's about who's talking with Russia. So Kennedy was talking with Russia because he was a president of the United States. You are not the president. You cannot or should not unilaterally be able to go and talk with Kirill Dimitriev, with Russia, and undermine the geopolitical strategies of the United States. Kirill Dimitriev, if he is, fawning you with praise, then we've got a problem. Dialogue is essential for mutual understanding, said Dimitriev, and peace. Let's stand with Representative Luna and other peacemakers who face attacks from many sides simply for having the courage to challenge the false Russiagate and Biden narratives. Blessed be the peacemakers from dark to light. This is absolutely horrific that American lawmakers are undermining Ukraine's fight for sovereignty and fight for its democracy. I am so angry with all of this, that Kirill Dimitriev gets to spread his just abject propaganda around the world, and people suck it up. And Grokipedia is now spreading this kind of narrative on its supposedly repository of truth and whatnot. It's just so anger-inducing and depressing at the same time. So anyway, I just had to get that off my chest this morning. Let me know what you think. Take care. Speak to you soon.